Hey, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. Let's talk about Smashmate. To the uninitiated, Smashmate is Japan's ladder matchmaking service for Smash Ultimate online. Players gain or lose points by winning or losing in best of 3 sets played on this rule set. A season lasts 2 months before all the points reset and players start again. The service has seen the likes of Mia, Akola, Yoshidora, and many more really level up their play by actively using it. Okay, so why are we talking about it? Recently, a number of players and community members in NA have been concerned with how Japanese players, both ranked and unranked, have been able to get big wins at overseas events and dominate as the strongest region. Many stones are being thrown about Japan bias from rankings, how Japanese events easily achieve high tier status compared to those of other regions, and the struggle to take number 1 back off Japan. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to do a Smash version of Mythbusters. Let's break this narrative that Smashmate is the gap. I'm going to talk about why having an online ELO-based ladder system isn't the zinger everyone thinks it is. It's not the gap closer. I'm going to do my best to avoid looking like this and compare Smashmate to other ranked ladders Smash has had and currently has, the importance of collaboration as a scene to grow, the willingness to compete without incentive, utilization of Wi-Fi, and see what we can come up with. Also, before I press on, huge thanks to Dags who really helped nut out the ideas for this one. Go give him a follow. Alright, let's jump in. The easiest starting point is a comparison of ladder matchmaking systems. NA, and I'm sure many more regions, have tried a bunch, but I'll go with Old Faithful. Anthers. I know there's a new one that just got off the ground, but at the time of writing, it just came out a few days ago, and I don't want to make statements that will age poorly if it just crashes and burns. We'll look at Anthers first. Now going by Smash Ladder, run by veteran Pikachu player, Anthers. A matchmaking system for basically every Smash title under the sun. Yes, even the one you're not supposed to talk about. I'm unsure of stipulations for other titles, but it allows players to play best of 5s and gain points to climb the different ranks across the span of a season. Seasons typically were the same length as the 4 weather seasons in a calendar year. Despite the use of prizes and encouragement from players streaming their climb up the ladder, it was a system which struggled to hold a player base. With the introduction of the likes of Discord grind servers, ladders at in-person events, other Smash titles getting their own version of a ranked ladder, like Ranked Slippy, and even other ladder matchmaking services, Smash Ladder has struggled to regain its footing in the post-quarantine era. Smash Ladder hasn't seen a new active season since March 2022, and as offline Smash has become more and more prevalent, its service has become more and more irrelevant. Smashmate, in comparison, is massive, with this season having over 10,000 players participate and roughly 390 players achieving VIP status during the season. What does Japan do differently? Because fundamentally, it's the same concept of a ranked ladder over a period of 2 to 3 months. I'm not going to sit here and pretend Japan is doing something revolutionary. Let's look beyond having a really good ladder matchmaking system. Let's look at some other factors. This one seems a little odd, but I think it's actually got some merit. If you played this game for long enough, you'll hear statements like this about sets being done in a best of 3 or best of 5 format.
It shows that it can work, and it shows that it's also really good. But yeah, with Smash Ultimate, like there's so many variables and matchup checks and rough situations that best of 5 seems pretty healthy.
While the way the meta has developed means characters' advantage states and certain matchup checks can jump you in a best of 3, it's vital as a player to learn how to quickly adapt, rather than the soft cushion provided to adapt in a best of 5. If you look at Smashmate, Japanese locals like Weekly Smash Party and Mayasuma Hit, and even some regionals and majors, Japan plays out a lot of best of 3, whereas in NA and other scenes, it's quite common for locals to have best of 5 from top 8 onwards. At bigger events, it's even as far back as top 32 or top 64. There's obviously exceptions, as Kagaribi typically runs all best of 5 from pools to the end, and NA events can have best of 3 run for longer than what's normally expected. However, the point is that Japan has a much bigger focus on playing best of 3 than NA, EU, and other scenes. While this primarily may be a time thing, it has a runoff impact where players are forced to up their game knowledge and awareness to how quickly they're required to adapt in sets where 2 bad games mean the set is over. The general quality of play improves because players don't have extra breathing room in a set to adapt. While yes, Smash Ultimate is highly volatile and best of 5 suits it better, the decision to play best of 3 further in bracket may be a more efficient way to improve the standard of play in other regions. I think this is a massive divide in the scenes that people do not talk about enough. The willingness to attend any event under the sun is kind of crazy. Now, I'm going to be fair and understand that thanks to factors we've already talked about, Japan's quality of players from their O2ers right to their best gives players much more incentive to attend. But here's a comparison. Ken, a Japanese Sonic and Sephiroth player, currently ranked 21st in the world. During this season, Ken has attended 14 events, and 9 of those events were locals. Ken did not always win those events, but he consistently goes and competes. We'll compare to a similarly ranked player. Ranked 1 spot above Ken is Kurama, NorCal Mario, and ranked at 20th in the world. He has competed in 8 events this season, 3 of those events being locals. 3 out of 8 actually isn't too bad, but over a stretch of 3 months, it's not too fantastic. While there's obviously exceptions, a lot of higher ranked players outside of Japan don't attend their locals at the moment. Why is this? It'll come back to being a talking point soon, but it's basically the love of learning and improving clashing with a fear of failure. Continuing to play will always have its benefits, but NA players tend to hold back on going to events for the fear of how a bad result will tank their season. People tend to get mad at how a lot of events struggle to reach the upper areas of P, S, and A tier events, and even regionals struggling to get to B and C tier status, while Japan can get ranked events like it's nothing. How is this happening? Simple. The willingness to attend. Regardless of how good a Japanese player is, they will be there. Maybe it's a learned behavior that NA and others struggle to get past, but while players struggle to get past the fear of, what if I get upset? Japan will continue to have big sets of ranked events, while everyone else rots in B, C, and D tier hell. Kind of a similar point to what we just discussed. Love of learning and fear of failure clashes for high level players in regions outside of Japan. The inherent fear that if you bomb at a ranked event, it will tank your season. On the one hand, I get it. A couple bad events did ruin players like Apollo Kage and Jackal in the first half of 2023. But on the other hand, there's no better place to keep improving and playing than at an event. Part of this comes from the ranking obsessed culture that's gripped Smash since probably like the birth of Melee rank. I understand the struggle of wanting to compete as a top/high level player without the fear of how one result could wildly reshape your season. However, take a look at most of the top 20. Not those two, don't look at them. Their results are abnormal. Despite how high these players' highs can be, there's always going to be a spot of inconsistency. It's just the nature of playing a game as big and as global as Smash Ultimate is. There's going to be some matchups you're not totally prepared for, or for a player who prepares super hard to beat you. How can this be mitigated? Keep competing so you can keep learning. The results will even out eventually. This was a big one I really wanted to get to. There's a lot to talk about how vital the Wi-Fi grind is, so let's compare Japan and NA's most fierce Wi-Fi grinders, Spargo and Acola. Until the recent level up from Mia, Sonics, Gluttony, and others around the top 10, the gap between these two and the rest was quite large. Point is, these two have really grown through Smash in a similar environment. Despite being cited offline here and there prior to COVID, Spargo really got his claim to fame as a serial grinder of Wi-Fi tournaments during the 2020 to 21 period, where offline tournaments were inaccessible. Even today, he continues his run as a Wi-Fi grinder in coin boxes to maintain his play during periods where majors aren't there. This is piloting a bunch of characters like Cloud, Aegis, Lucina, Byleth, and yes, even the Plant. A player who's shown a willingness to keep grinding in a time period where players abandon Wi-Fi, now that offline is readily available. Spargo continues to grind because every time you play, there's something to learn, and actively playing is better than just going event to event. Let's switch to Acola, a player born from Wi-Fi. It was humble beginnings for him as a Donkey Kong and Luigi player before moving on to Steve, and that's where he really climbed on Smashmate, being the first player on Smashmate to achieve a score of 2500 in a single season. And eventually, the offline era began for him, where he would dominate Japanese locals, regionals, and majors alike. Similar to Spargo, Acola continues to use the resource of Wi-Fi, whether it's to maintain practice or grind up one of his secondaries like Aegis, Kazuya, or even recently, Roy. Both players inherently understand the resource Wi-Fi provides. So if they're so similar with how they approach Wi-Fi, why does their consistency split off? I could go for the easy cop-out of Japan's Wi-Fi scene is so much more structured, or the quality of players, but really, I think it's another case of if you want consistency, you'll keep on playing. Similar to the comparison of Ken and Kurama, you've just got to keep on playing. Regardless of the quality of your opponents, there's more to learn every time you're on the sticks. A while back, when the calls about Japan bias plagued the discourse on the Lumi rank, one man was out to save the people from the endless discourse. I'm, of course, talking about Big Gob. Run the clip.
If there's one thing Big Gob knows, the comeback is always greater than the setback.
Wait, wrong clip. Roll it.
I don't know, but instead of, asking ourselves and constantly questioning this, if we're there or not, I feel like we should just actually start working together, actually start coming together and improving as one instead of improving separately and competitively against each other. Because I feel like that's a lot of what NA is right now. NA is just kind of practicing to be one person here.
Smash is odd in a way. The grassroots nature of the community means despite playing a 1v1 game, people will collaborate a lot. However, despite this, part of this has really been missing in NA recently. A lot of top/high level players are avoiding this form of collaboration necessary to really improve. This includes VOD review, asking questions, labbing, theory crafting, and grind sessions. Players really need to come together to strengthen their region. Is Japan doing all this? I can't say for sure, but it's unlikely. The difference, however, is access to a ladder with thousands of players and many events for players to attend regularly means they're continuing to learn through the sheer amount of game experience and time they're putting in. Other regions aren't as fortunate, so there's other methods they need to bring to get up to speed. Egos need to be dropped, and groups need to collaborate to lift everyone up so Japan doesn't just run riot at every event they go to. Cut the complaining and get to work. I've gone back and forth today on stuff Japan does well and stuff that people just froth over that really isn't that revolutionary. So to finish, I have a message for those in the community who have Japan on this pedestal for what they do or how they run things. Listen, I get it's cool to look at a meta where their characters sometimes are different to those found in your region, or you like how Smashmate encourages a lot of online play. What they do is not that revolutionary. They produce a higher quality of players because the systems they have in place work with how their players like to play the game. Don't use Japan as an excuse to punch down on your region or stop talking about a scene you'll never visit, yet refuse to attend your events or support your own region. Hell, forget the region as a whole. How about you support your locals? Japan's meta isn't wildly different because they see the game in a different light. The quality of play means other characters get on big runs and win matchups they normally wouldn't. The region also has a bunch of meta-relevant reps, just like NA and EU. Just please, stop acting like Japan is this region that's leagues better than your own. They're really not doing anything crazy. You can be good at the game as a region without rewriting the book on how to play it. So is it all because of Smashmate? I don't think I need to tell you the answer is no. To say the best region is held up only because of a ranked ladder matchmaking system, which most players use, is foolish. It's certainly part of Japan's success, but there's always a bigger picture than that. It's about the regular competition, use of Wi-Fi, and the dedication to character mastery, which has really churned out the highest quality of players. Could other regions rise up to take the crown as the best region once again? Of course. So it's not region bias for any statisticians or any hidden secret that can be emulated. It's on a region to come together, take on the challenge of competition at the highest level, and show why in future seasons they deserve to be the best. But that's all from me. Let me know in the comments what you think about the topic, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.